Before you upgrade to Final Cut Pro 10.4, you'll need to be on a Mac running Mac OS Sierra version 10.12.4 or later. You'll need at least 4 gigs of RAM, although 8 gigs is recommended if you're editing 4K video, working with 3D titles, or editing 360 video. You'll need an OpenCL-capable graphics card, or an Intel HD Graphics 3000 card or later, with at least 256 megabytes of VRAM, but we recommend at least a gigabyte for working with 4K, 360 video, and 3D titles. You'll also need a little under 4 gigabytes of free space. If you're also installing motion compressor, then you'll need about 10 gigs of space. Finally, if you plan to output 360 video to a VR headset, you'll need a Mac with a discrete graphics card, and you'll need to be running Mac OS High Sierra 10.13. Apple recommends an iMac with a Radeon 580 graphics card. Assuming your system is ready, we recommend that before you upgrade, you first go to System Preferences, select the App Store, and make sure that Install App Updates is not checked. If it is checked, Final Cut Pro will automatically update before you've had a chance to archive it. Next, you should archive your current copy of Final Cut Pro. Here I am in my Applications folder with Final Cut Pro 10 selected. I'll press Command-I to get info, and we see it's version 10.3.4. I'll right-click on it and choose Compress. Once it's done, I'll add 10.3.4 to the file name and put it in this folder of older versions. That way, if for any reason I want to go back to the prior version, I can do so. The next step is to back up any libraries that I want to upgrade, so that if I do want to go back, both the application and the library will be available. Now, for libraries where the media is stored externally, this process can be very fast because the library will be quite small, so you can simply duplicate it to make a copy. But libraries that have managed media inside of them can be quite large. For those libraries, I'd recommend first opening the library and consolidating the media outside the library to make it much smaller. To do so, select the library, go to the Library Inspector, click Modify Settings, and set an external location for the media. Now, if you target the same drive where the library is currently located, this process will be very fast and will not take any additional space because no media will need to be copied. It's just being moved to another location on the same drive. Once the location is set, click the Consolidate button for the library to move the media outside. You should now have a much smaller library that you can duplicate to create a backup before upgrading. Now, if you have media for a library spread across multiple drives, you may not want to consolidate it all to a single location. So an alternative approach is to use an existing backup of your library. Here's the Final Cut Backups folder, located by default in the Movies folder on the boot drive. These backups don't include media, so they'll be quite small. If you want to rely on a backup library, I would first open it and make sure it has all your latest changes. Once you've completed these steps, confirming your hardware and software configuration, turning off auto updates, backing up your current Final Cut Pro application and any libraries you plan to upgrade, then go to the App Store and update to Final Cut Pro 10.4. To learn about all the new features of Final Cut Pro 10.4, check out our free overview movies and our in-depth tutorials at rippletraining.com.